Hope you're doing awesome. Today's a super rainy day out there, so if you hear rain in the background, I haven't added that sound. That's just actual rain in the background, so now you know. I have been away for a week. I just had, well, to be honest, I needed time. I needed time to reflect and to ponder. I had an amazing, miraculous experience, and I'm going to share some of that with you today. But I needed some time to just, it was so unexpected. I was not expecting this miracle in my life, as well as what it means going forward. So yeah, I needed that time to think and ponder and understand. So but I'm going to share that with you today. All right, so yeah. Okay. Yeah, so the only background to know, I don't want this to be super, super long, so I'm not going to be incredibly detailed about the surrounding things. But the only background that's important to know is, you know, I did have a near-death experience when I was younger. And in that near-death experience, I did meet Jesus. And I felt the presence. I know what the presence of Jesus feels like. Like I experienced Jesus. I met Jesus. I experienced Jesus. And I was told I was meeting God. And I can only, what I experienced in that near-death experience, the only thing that fits, words that fit with what I experienced, what is the Trinity. It's the only thing. I hadn't even heard of the Trinity when I went through that experience until many, many years later. I heard the word Trinity 10, 12 years later. And even then I didn't even understand what that was, what the Trinity was. That was like some three-headed God or something. I had no idea what that was. But I knew what I experienced in my near-death experience. And I absolutely experienced the Trinity. And I met Jesus. So that's an important little piece to know. Another little piece, again, I don't want this to take too long. I want to get to the miracle that I experienced. Is, you know, when I was 29, I was not raised Christian. I was raised in something else. And when I was 29, God brought me to Him. I came to know Jesus. I have this peace within me that no matter what happens around, it does not leave. God is always with me, and it made me even more spiritually sensitive. I was already very spiritually sensitive because of my near-death experience, and because it happened as a child, I could remember so many things that little children, that we all probably remember and forget as we grow. But I believe because of my near-death experience, I didn't lose any of that. And I was given this beautiful gift, many gifts. That included the gift of discernment, the gift that you would, you know, mediumship is what you'd say in our definition, but it's just the ability to communicate, see and communicate with angels, with past loved ones, and just being a lot more spiritually sensitive, as well as be able to foresee, so to see past, present, future. And this is just a gift from God. And like everything that, you know, Satan takes everything that is, he doesn't make anything up on his own, right? So we've been led to believe that these gifts are all satanic and of the devil and all this sort of stuff. And it's not true. These are gifts from God. And yes, there's a forfeit version. Is that the right word? An imitation of the correct ones, the correct gifts, the true gifts. There's an imitation version. There's twisted versions. And yeah, I am very well aware of that. I've seen it and I've experienced that, and I may talk about that, but that's not the point. God gave me these beautiful gifts, and I'm so forever grateful. The thing is, long story short, you may think from my videos that perhaps I am Catholic, and I'm not. I always consider myself just Christian, especially when I was 29. I'm just Christian because, you know, it doesn't matter why. I would label myself as just Christian. And I've always been someone who's been like, I don't care. I'm a truth seeker. I don't care what the truth is, so long as it is the truth. And so that's kind of what's important to me, is the truth. So that's just some little background info to know. Another thing is, I've been receiving, like in my near-death experience when Jesus sent me back, we were in this middle place. It's the best way I can describe it. This beautiful place of light and love and just pureness, this beautiful place. But I knew it was not like the ultimate fullness of heaven or anything like that. It was this place. And I knew in this place, you know, I could go on with Jesus and I would never be back in this body. Or, you know, I knew it was being in, anyways. I was in this in-between place is how I would just best describe it. At the very end of my experience, Jesus told me I needed to go back. And I begged him to let me go with him because I saw that he was going to go further into this beautiful, glorious place with light and love and like creation and like just heaven. I knew he was going there. And I said, I want to go where you go. Can I go with you? And he says, no, you need to go back. You need to save your family line. It's important that you go back. So that's important to this story as well. The other thing is, you know, I've had experiences of past loved ones, ancestors telling me it's go home. It's time to go home now. It's time to go home. But not meaning death as in heaven home, but just saying it's time to go home. My husband, who passed away, he has been also telling me it's time to go home. And about a little less than a year ago, where I felt I heard the voice of God, the voice of the Holy Spirit saying to me exactly, Joyeuse, it's time to stop wandering around. It's time to go home. Come home. And anyway, long story short, I'm here, the place of my ancestors, this is my home, where I felt most at home. I have been here 400 years. I grew up here. My memories from past life is here. And I say past life because that's what people understand. To me, like I'm one soul, I'm one life. That is my life. That is my life, my soul. And so this physical body is just another outfit. You know, it's like changing outfits. So all my happiest memories are here. So this is home. So I've come here and I've been going to the basilica that my ancestors built. And anyway, long story short, I've been going as much as possible to pray and just love. I know I can pray at home, and I do pray at home, but I just, you know, as part of my spiritual practice, I decided to go daily to pray, and I just really felt called to do that. I felt the pull to do that. So I've been going every day to pray, not to a mass, just to go and pray, light candle, to pray. When I'm there, I can see angels. I do feel the Holy Spirit there. And there's many other reasons. But for this experience, it's all you need to know. And that's all I need to share. Then I was feeling this call, this drawing from my past loved ones, from the Holy Spirit, from the arms of Jesus, all kind of saying, come home. This is home, like the church, like the Roman Catholic Church. And so I was very much against, you know, in my mind, I was like the Roman Catholic Church. I was not even Christian. But coming here, I can see actually it is Christian. Actually, it's more Christian than I've ever seen. Long story short, because I really want to keep this short. I could go into so many details, maybe in another one. But long story short, I have been suffering with PTSD, true PTSD. I'm not just saying that as an expression, like true PTSD, even having 3 nervous breakdowns because of it. And every single night for several years, I can't sleep. I get very little sleep, if any. It's just every night is the worst. It's like a battle. Every single night. It's exhausting. Which is why I had to stop the readings, because even when I learned to manage using many different methods and different therapies and different things, it would help manage. But then I could do readings, and then once in a while I'd get to a reading that would bring out some PTSD symptoms, and it would just be so hard for me and make things much harder. So I decided to stop for now the readings until I could heal this, or at least until I can manage in such a way that I can continue the call that God gave me. Jesus gave me as well as a call to do these, what people call readings or sittings, giving those messages from their past loved ones to help them heal, to bring people hope, to bring people to healing, and so that they can continue with this life. And if you're a Christian and watching this and you think that's demonic, just so you know, look at Elijah. I mean, God shows you right there. There is a demonic version, but not because that came first. It's not Christians imitating that. It is because God had certain gifts, spiritual gifts. And Satan imitates that. Everything of Satan is just a twist of something that is of God, or an imitation of something that is from God. And you really have to have discernment. When it's a true gift, you have discernment. So that's all I want to say about that, because I'm just saying that because a lot of Christians have criticized me for this gift. But it is a gift from God. And I cannot deny that Jesus gave me as one of my missions with coming back was not just to save my family line, but another one was to be like an earth angel for Jesus, offering that healing when people are in grief and they need those messages from their past loved ones, and those loved ones want to give a message to their loved ones here. So that's an absolute gift from God. So anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this miracle. So I was suffering with PTSD, and I just thought I was going to learn to live with it. I did not expect any. At this point, it's been close to 3 years. And I've been praying at the Basilica every day. And I'm very spiritually sensitive, like I said. Like, I'm able to me, it's not like as much of a separation. Like, I live physically and in my soul at the same time. Live through my soul and in my body. Like, I'm in both at one. But I am my soul. That's who I am. It's no question that is like, there's one, that's my life. That's who I am, my soul. So I experience both together. I don't experience a separate thing. Anyhow, so I've been going to pray, and one day I've just had a sense of God with all this drawing to the Catholic Church. And I was like, is it just because of my ancestors? Like, am I just, like, I really has a great hesitancy in my mind is telling me this. And so I was like, God, if this is truly your one true church, I started reading stuff like Saint Ignatius, stuff like that, like who came after Peter, who and why, and things like that. So I was looking at that, and anyways, I got to a point where I'm like, you know what, God, you're drawing me here. So, Jesus, if this is your true, original church on earth, the visible, because there's what we call the invisible and the visible. And so if this is the visible manifestation of your presence and your authority and your church here on earth, this is the original. Nothing's perfect. You're never going to find a perfect anything because humans are involved. But if this is yours, then let me know. I'm not going to do anything unless I know. So anyways, I felt I should stay a little longer. So I did stay a lot longer. Just, I'm already a Christian. I already came to know Jesus. Jesus brought me to himself. I already have God within me. The Spirit of God had never left me ever since. And peace no matter what. And I'm in complete surrender. And I also have this attitude of, I don't care what the truth is, so long as it is the truth. And I know that it is the truth. And so I felt like I should stay. So I decided to stay a little longer. And lo and behold, usually when I leave, I didn't realize, I leave just before Mass. I had no idea. But now I stayed longer and Mass was starting. I had never seen a Catholic Mass. I've been to many Christian churches for many years. I've always thought the sacrament or the communion was very symbolic. So here I am watching. I said, I'm going to stay and observe. I've never seen a Catholic Mass. My ass has been Catholic for since 900 AD. I was not raised Catholic. This is my family history, the traditions of my family I would like to see. So I decided to be observant and watch. And so I'm watching the Catholic Mass, and there's so much I want to share about it. But to keep the story short, I'll share that another time. But I was just so surprised to see things like when you understand quantum physics, you understand bells and the effect that bells have, the effect of sounds, certain sounds like 528 hertz and so forth, and words and certain pitches and all that. You just see like the tradition. I mean, if they didn't know about each of these things scientifically, man, like that, like God really put it all together perfectly to kind of create an atmosphere of healing for sure. But more than that, long story short, they get to the point of communion or the sacrament or the Eucharist. So the consecration of the Eucharist is beginning. I don't go up, just so you know, because I'm not a baptized Catholic. I understand and I respect. So I don't go up and pretend anything, but I'm observing. I'm in the presence here. The power, like that was the other thing, the power of God was so pure and absolutely there. I'm very spiritually sensitive, and during the consecration of the Eucharist, suddenly I could feel the presence of Jesus, but not just Jesus, full presence of the Trinity, exactly as I felt in my near-death experience, which I was never felt or experienced the presence of the Trinity and the presence of Jesus the way that I experienced my near-death experience, again, to that extent, until the Catholic Mass. So during this Mass, during the consecration of the Eucharist, which again, my attitude is this is all symbolic. And I'm noticing, like, this is exactly like when I met Jesus. And then I saw in front of me, in spirit, but real, the face of Jesus, the image of the face of Jesus, just in front of me for like a second or two, and I could see the light emanating, the love. And then that went away, and I saw a hummingbird, and that quickly went away. And immediately I started to feel a little vertigo, like a little like turning or dizziness. But that lasted like half a second, or a second, like really short. And I felt like what was causing the vertigo, this energy coming out of me, like on the side of my head and this part of my body, just coming out of me. And that's what made me dizzy. And then I noticed, wait, I had pain in my neck for days due to the fact I have scoliosis. I was born with an extra vertebrae. So that was gone. So I was very surprised. I noticed that. I also noticed I felt normal. I had not felt normal in years. Like here in this world, normal. I always, experience my soul and body at the same time. I always experience both together. But after my husband passed away and all the trauma that I went through and the PTSD, it's like I disassociated. So I always experienced this, but I also had this sort of mental disassociation, if that makes sense. So I didn't feel like I couldn't always feel myself physically. But then I just felt here, like felt normal. Didn't feel like I had PTSD anymore. And I suffered this for years. That night I went to bed, I did not battle. Every night has been a battle. The PTSD would just run rampant every night. Just major battling every night, barely sleep. So exhausting, so scary, so much anxiety, so much fear about going to bed every night. Never happened again. It's been almost a week. It's completely gone. is completely all gone. And I didn't do anything to make it go away. There's no reason other than that. So I thought it was just all symbolic. I don't understand mentally. I can't explain, except I know what I experienced. I wasn't expecting to experience that. And I'm still kind of overwhelmed that the presence of Jesus during the consecration of the Eucharist, absolutely, the presence of Jesus is there. It's not just a Eucharist. Like, it's not just a wafer or whatever it is. It's not just some bread. I don't understand it, but it is real. And the presence of Jesus was absolutely there. And the exact presence that I experienced in my near-death experience when I met Jesus. And I experienced God as a Trinity. And I never heard of this my whole life. So I had never experienced the Catholic Mass. I never knew what a Trinity was. Like, these were all things I never knew about. And I'm only looking into now after this. So it's not like I experienced it because I was expecting it or because I thought about it. I was not expecting it. I certainly didn't expect that kind of healing. I did not expect to see the face of Jesus during the consecration of the Eucharist in front of me. Angels were there. I'm very grateful that I'm spiritually sensitive, but that doesn't mean the others didn't experience it either. You can experience it by just experiencing peace in there. Your soul recognizes it. Your soul experiences it fully. And if you are spiritually sensitive like me, then you will experience it very similarly. The presence of Jesus, the fullness of God, His presence is absolutely there during the consecration of the Eucharist. Now I understand why it's so important. Now I understand why they do Catholic Mass. Like, I just looked it up. When do they do Mass at this church? It's twice a day, every day. Twice a day, every day. Now I understand why there are some people who come every single day, that's what I've learned, to go to Mass every day, every morning before they go to work. The presence of God is truly there. The presence of Jesus is there in the Eucharist. I can't explain it. I never agreed with it. They're supposed to be symbolic, but I know what I experienced, and it was very real. My healing is real. And there's a lot of physical symptoms I was getting also related to the PTSD, all gone. I'm completely, anything to do with the PTSD is absolutely healed. And I feel hope again. I feel like I can live life again. Now I can go back to my calling, to be the mother that I had always been, to be able to have my calling, to do those readings or sittings. I like to call them sittings. I'm sitting with you to bring you those messages of love and hope. My calling, the callings of life that Jesus wants me to do. I feel like I can finally do my life. It's been years with this PTSD. It is disabling. I put on a good face, but it was absolutely disabling. So, but now I'm healed. Like, I cannot be more grateful. I cannot think. It makes sense. And now I'm here at a point, like, I'm just Christian, I wasn't even I was just in the presence of the Eucharist while they were consecrating it. So I experienced the presence of Jesus, real, like, it was real. When I had a near-death experience, my near-death experience, I hate calling it near-death because it was truly I died and came back. But that experience, that was more real. Death is just an illusion. And the presence, the fullness of God as a Trinity there in Mass, the presence of Jesus in the consecration of the Eucharist was real. It is real. So now I understand people. It reminds me of, the Bible quote, the daily bread. Maybe that's what they mean. Maybe that's why they go every morning. So, yeah, I don't know, I'm overwhelmed. It is getting me to be like, maybe what God means to come home is to join myself to the sacraments. Like, I want to do that now. And I never thought I would ever even consider Catholicism. But Jesus showed out. Showed out? Is that the right word? Showed up? Jesus showed up. I did not expect that. So I want to be Roman Catholic. Now I want to have the sacraments. Now I see the truth and the power in it. I just want to be where Jesus is. And ever since then too, I feel, now that PTSD is gone, I just feel and see more clearly. And I am just so grateful, and my spiritual gifts feel stronger. So anyhow, I don't know what to do with this. I'm overwhelmed thinking about it. I haven't spoken to anyone else. I'm just sharing it on here. So I want to keep it short. So there you go. I'll keep it short. I'll end here. It is very overwhelming. It is never thought a million years, honestly. But now here I am, wanting to be Catholic, wanting to be home in the Roman Catholic Church. So God bless you, but I'm always going to be here. It doesn't matter if Christian or not, Catholic or not, it doesn't matter what anything. I'm not even Catholic right now. So I love you, and I'm going to continue here and continue with the angels, because I really feel that's my calling, and with the communication of past loved ones. And I just wanted to share this with you because it was such a powerful experience and an amazing miracle. And I really was not expecting this, and I am overwhelmed, and I don't want to cry, because when I cry, it's just like ugly cry. So that's why I'm speaking more of a reflection rather, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to get emotional on camera, because it's like ugly cry, and I won't be able to share what I'm trying to share. So God bless you if you made it this far. Have a beautiful day.